Hello and welcome back to another FBI video where of course this is my transfer plans ahead of game week 4. Now unfortunately again I've only got one free transfer for this game week, so I will be looking at, there's a certain transfer I'm thinking about doing ahead of game week 4 to be fair. And do I think I'm going to be taking a hit this game week? Honestly, I'm strongly going to advise not to. That's what I keep telling myself anyway. Because as much as it's going to be difficult this game week, and I do think it's going to be a tough game week this week because Arsenal, Man United are playing each other, so that's 5 players against each other. And if it's 0-0, that's 4 of my 5 midfielders getting nothing for this game week. So I've got a feeling it's going to be a small one. I'm expecting around about 36 points this game week coming up. So I'm not confident at all. Obviously, the Brighton guys, they've got a tough fixture coming up as well. So 7 players, I'm not confident at all this game week. So it's going to be a tough one. It's going to be a hard watch if I'm being honest. But like I said, I've got one transfer in mind for this game week. I've got another transfer on here that I think a lot of people are going to be making. And of course, I've got 2 other players who are not necessarily thinking about bringing in right now, but I've got my eye on both of them in the coming weeks. So then, this is the transfer I'm thinking about doing for game week 4. So I'll be taking out João Pedro to bring in Carlton Morris of Luton. Now hear me out on this one, because obviously, like me, I'm sure most people don't like to bring a newly promoted player into their team and start him for sure. Yeah, we usually get that 4 million player on our team just so we can spread the money about. This one, I'll definitely be looking at starting Carlton Morris. João Pedro obviously got off to that great start in game week 1, but it's not start the last couple of games. It's a massive put off. He's dropped down in price, so he's gone back to 5.5. So he's the exact same price as Morris now. Morris, he starts every game. Well, he has done so far anyway. He's played 90 minutes in every game. He's scored already this season. It was a penalty, so he's also on penalties like João Pedro. And the fixtures as well. So obviously, Brighton's fixtures I mentioned earlier, they're not great coming up. So Newcastle, horrible fixture. Man United, I mean, not going to lie, it's horrible on paper, but defensively, Man United have been in shambles. But even then, it could be a tough fixture for Brighton. Obviously, Bournemouth's a nice fixture, but then it's Villa away after that. So only one decent fixture in the next 4 games isn't the best for Brighton. Whereas obviously you look at Luton's fixtures. Yes, Luton aren't going to get a lot of chances this season. But this fixture run they got coming up, this is the best time for them to get points, to get goals. So yes, they've got West Ham, which is going to be a tough game, but it is at home, which is important, obviously. Then it's Fulham, nice fixture. Wolves is a nice fixture, and Everton is also a nice fixture. I mean, their defences are quite tough to be fair. But if anybody's going to score for Brighton, sorry, not Brighton, am I going mental? If anybody's going to score for Luton, it's going to be Carlton Morris. The guys look good. I've watched him a couple of games now. He's definitely the deadliest person in that team. He's the one that you think if anybody's going to score for Luton, it's going to be him. Obviously, he smashed it last season in the Championship as well. So he's a differential as well, and we need differentials in our team because let's face it, there's too many of us. I've got too much of the same. So obviously, João Pedro, he's somebody a lot of people have got. I mean, he has dropped down, so he is just under 20% now. But I'll be taking out somebody who's 20% owned, bringing in somebody who's not even 2% owned. So if this transfer works out, let's say he bags an hat trick in at least one of these next 4 games. Do you know what I mean? Obviously, the chances of that happening slim. But if he gets 2 goals in the next 4 games, that would be a win for me, if I'm being honest. So this next one is obviously the most popular transfer for game week 4, and that's obviously taking out Luke Shaw, who's currently injured right now, and bringing in Gusto of Chelsea. It makes sense, obviously, that people are doing this. Shaw is injured. What do you want to do? I'll bring in the guy who's just got 2 assists, a clean sheet, and 2 bonus points. And especially when his fixtures look really nice in the coming weeks. Obviously, it looks great on paper, but there are words out that after game week 4, which is the international break, Reece James could be back for Chelsea. So if you did bring in Gusto, it could literally just be a 1 week thing and then he's back out of the team. So for me, I wouldn't get in Gusto. Same with Ndoggy as well. I'm a bit put off. You have to wait till the injury. Is it serious? Is it nothing? Before thinking about bringing him in. But he would be an ideal replacement. Or and this is what I do mostly, I just bring a different Chelsea defender. One that's dirt cheap and it plays 90 minutes, guaranteed points, and then just wait it off then because there's no urgency. Because at the end of the day, you'll get the Chelsea clean sheets, and then if you do want to make that move for Reece James, you'll have the money for it. So instead of going for Augusto, I'll bring in Colwell instead of him because he's gonna start. He's cheap as well. It makes sense to go for that transfer instead. I mean, you could hold off for Luke Shaw and keep him on your bench, but I wouldn't, to be honest. There's no point having 5.5 or 5.4 million, should I say, sitting on your bench for the next few game weeks. There's just no point. You can get some decent defenders out there at that price. So for sure, take Luke Shaw out. But would I go for Gusto myself? No, I wouldn't. And finally, these two players got on here. Alvarez of Man City, Sanchez of Chelsea. Obviously, you can't take one out for the other. It makes no sense. It couldn't happen. These two here are just players who I've got on my list to bring into my team in the future. Look at the fixtures. Alvarez, let's talk about him first. Now, this is a guy, yes, pet roulette. You just don't know what's going to happen. But so far this season, obviously, with De Bruyne out until the new year, Alvarez has played all 3 games, 90 minutes in all 3 of them. He looks like he could be nailed on for the next few weeks. I mean, I say could be because Man City could easily sign somebody in the next week and he goes back on the bench. But for now, he looks really good. He's only 6.6, so yes, I mean, I went on about getting Carlton Morris, but obviously that could easily change. I could go stuff it. I'm going to go for Alvarez because out of the two of them, who's most likely to get a shot on goal? It's going to be Alvarez. But obviously, Morris has penalties. Alvarez doesn't. But Alvarez plays in a much better team where he's going to get so many more opportunities. And like I said, 90 minutes in that team, you got a great chance there. So he's definitely somebody who's on my watch list. He's got Fulham at home next game, good fixture. West Ham, Forest, Wolves, all coming up. Comfortable fixtures for him. I think he could smash it in the coming weeks. Sanchez. Now, I don't really make goalkeeping transfers very often. Only if I've got 2 free transfers. I fancy taking somebody out. I just fancy changing my goalkeeper, or if I have a wild card. Now, I've got Pickford for myself right now, and he's been awful this season. So, Everton have been awful. But yeah, he's been disappointing. He's not even had save points. But Sanchez, I mean, yeah, he's not really. I don't know if he has save points. It doesn't really matter, to be honest. The next few weeks, he's got a good defence in front of him. He doesn't have to do too much. He made a decent save against Luton, to be fair to him. But he's 4.5 million as well, so he's the same price as Pickford. So for me, he could be just a straight swap if I feel like it. I mean, I'm not going to be making the goalkeeping transfer this game week. I'd probably try and hold off until I do a wild card. But I can't ignore the fact that he starts every game for Chelsea. But there's that issue at Chelsea, he could just buy a keeper in the next week or so. But his fixtures, like the Man City's, are great. Forest at home, Bournemouth away. Yes, Aston Villa's a tough game, but it is at Stamford Bridge. And then Fulham away as well. So like Alvarez, Sanchez has got good fixtures. He's got a good back four in front of him. I think Chelsea could get 3 clean sheets. I mean, 3's being optimistic, but at least 2 clean sheets in the next 4 games. So, for sure, these 2 are players that I want in my team right now. It would be great, but I'm holding off for now. Sanchez, because I don't like to make goalkeeping transfers, I'm holding off for that reason. And Alvarez, I mean, I love Alvarez. I think he's a great player, but I wouldn't be surprised if he's dropped for the next 3 games. That's also the problem with Man City players. They're an absolute nightmare to have, unless it's Haaland, where it's easy. Even Edison's a nightmare, because sometimes Pep goes, nah, I'm not going to play him this week, he's tired. So, it's always a gamble going for a Man City player. I don't like to take too many gambles. I got burned last week with Akanji. Do want to get burned this week as well by bringing Alvarez and having him drop. Not really. So those are some of the transfers that I've got in my books for the coming weeks. Now, this is obviously, like I said before, my team. Now, with Game Week 4, it's going to be a case of will I go for Carlton Morris, or because I'm pretty sure I've got enough in the bank, bring in Alvarez instead. Is a headache. You know what? It's annoying because it would be great if it was Man City kicking off on Friday. It's not, it's Luton. But that's the transfer I'm looking at mostly. If I did decide not to do that and make a different transfer, it probably would be taking out Estepinian. I think I've said that wrong again, but it will be taking him out and bringing in Colwell of Chelsea just to steady up that defence to guarantee a clean sheet, because I'll be absolutely shocked if Brighton keep a clean sheet against Newcastle. Absolutely shocked. I reckon it's going to be a high scoring game, which would be great, but unfortunately I don't think João Pedro is going to start, so not great for me in that terms. And obviously I ain't got Newcastle players either, so for sure it's going to be a case of will it be Morris or will it be Alvarez playing for me, and if not, maybe Colwell. So those are the ones that I'm looking at most. Wouldn't go for Gusto like I said. But yeah, confidence-wise ahead of this game week, not that confident. But like a lot of people, I've got a similar team, so I'm not too worried as a whole. Now let me know what you think about this video. Let me know what transfers you're thinking about doing and what you think about my transfers. Please don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you all on the next video.